All right, gentlemen, I humbly and respectfully stand before you this afternoon. As imperfect as I am, I would want to speak a few things to see if all of us can learn one or two things. I would like to start by saying to be a man is not an easy thing. To be a man is a difficult nature. Why do I say it's a difficult nature? Number one, we live in a world today where wherever you go, you are told, do not lay your hand on a woman. But yet, we live among women who will always push you and say, beat me if you are a man. So, this is something that makes me say that it is not an easy thing to be a man. To be a man, we live in a world where everybody wants it from you. We live in a world where a child wants it from you, where your family wants it from you, but in the end, you are told you are equal before everyone's eyes as well as the law. But that is not what brought us here. I would like to coin my talk on everything rises and falls with men in society. Let's look at what I mean by saying everything rises and falls with a man in society. I'm here to talk based on issues that can help us grow into responsible men, men that will take responsibility and own what we exist for in this world of ours, a troubled one. Number one, I would like to take us back to the creation. The first chapters of Genesis, when we were made, or where our creation began. Genesis chapter 2, verse 15. In that chapter, we are reminded that God gave man work before he gave him a woman. I don't know if you can remember. God gave man work before he gave him a woman. What does it mean? We understand that man was introduced in the Garden of Eden where everything was there, ready for him to start working. In other words, you find yourself in your community today where a lot of opportunities are out there for you to grab and be successful or may help somebody to be successful. That is the garden we are talking about. But at some point, God said, no, this man is not going to be happy if he's going to be alone. But I have to make for him a woman who is a helper. Now, I want us to understand what helper is in this context. A helper, we live in a world today where we would want to bulldoze and say a woman is a weak being. A man is superior. That is where our trouble begins now. Because now, women have gotten so much support in one way or the other to make sure that they are empowered so that they resist that view from men. And at the end, since men by nature are guided by their ego, then there is no peace in the home, there is no peace in the society. It is time for you and I to start making sure that we adjust and make sure that we fit in this troubled world and still become successful people. This is how we are going to do it. There is no way you exist there as a man. There is no boy here. It is a safe space, I was told. There is no boy. We are men. And if I'm not mistaken, we are fathers. And as fathers, God bestowed us the responsibility to take care of everything in our dispensation. As a father, you need to take care of your home. As a man, you need to take care of your community. And if we go by these responsibilities, we will not have time to indulge ourselves into destructive things. Because we have a responsibility to fulfill. There will be no time to go around and smoke. There will be no time to go around and drink. There will be no time to go around and look for girlfriends. Because when God created us, it wasn't that man that was created first that went to look for a woman. God made sure that a woman was visible before his eyes. And that if you stick to those principles, it shall also happen to you. But number one, we need to get the work done around us. What does it mean? When we are able to do the work done around us, then God will say, now you are ready to be given a woman. And then one way or the other, you will see that you'll start getting closer. One woman will start getting closer to you. It is God's work. But what we do is, today we go to this location, we look for a woman, we do whatever we do, other things will follow us, we go to the next, and in the end we are just busy sowing evilness in community. And at the end of the day, when you thought you are that lover man, lover boy, and then the woman disappoints you, you want to kill yourself or you want to kill that woman. It is the trouble that you looked for yourself. In other words, you were not ready to have somebody to help you. Why am I saying you were not ready to have somebody to help you? You can only need somebody to help you when you have got something to do. Do you understand the logic? You can only need somebody to help you when you have got something to do. Now every day you wake up, you have nothing to do. A friend calls you, what are you doing? Nothing. Tomorrow, what are you doing? Nothing. But yet, you have the energy and the audacity to leave your room to go and look for a woman. My brother, trouble will not leave. Trouble will not leave. Look at a woman as something that was created by God to come and help us fulfill the vision that you have set. You need to have a vision. And that vision will then need somebody to come and assist you so that you can get there. Now, when sometimes you think that now it's time for you to have a girlfriend, there are times when you are approached, or maybe you get closer to somebody who is called a woman, and by the look of things, you will see the signs that this woman was not meant for what you intend to do. But yet you keep pushing. This woman demands you to give money. This woman demands you to buy a lot of things. You can see that this woman is not here to help my vision to be achieved. But we keep pushing, and at the end, you would want to take somebody's life because of that expensive cell phone. You want to take somebody's life because of that car. You want to take somebody's phone because you have gone places to say you have the most beautiful woman, but today you are scared to take the shame to say, I was disappointed. No, I cannot end like this unless I end my life either, or I will end her life. This is the problem that we have. It is time, gentlemen, for us to make sure that we own the responsibility that was once bestowed upon us right from the beginning of our creation. We were born through our mothers, but the creation still belongs to God. Our mothers, our parents were used as a conduit through which we were born. But the creation is owned by the Most High that we need to respect. You were born. You should make sure that every day you begin to learn and study on how you should help the next person in this community. We don't have time for distraction. You need to grow every day, take responsibility, because there will be a time when God will say, now it is time for you to have this woman. Now, look at the woman. Is this woman there to make sure that is there to help you what you are doing? Or you simply want a woman for entertainment or for pleasure? Then trouble will not leave us. But as men, take the responsibility that God has made us for a reason, to take responsibility, number one. Number two, the counterpart that God has created for us, to help us, to be our companion. These beings need protection from us. That's why we're made with a strong bone frame. Our body, our bone frame are stronger compared to women. It is because of that reason. Work was meant for us initially. It's simply because we have come to a point where we usually used to see women as useless simply because they don't do anything. Then the government said, or governments around the world say, no, we need to uplift women so that we empower them. And if you don't understand that logic behind, you will start thinking that now women have been destroyed. Women are competing against men. It's only your responsibility. When God created you and I, God did not speak to a woman. God spoke to a man, saying, you can eat from here, from there, or whatever. The eating has to do with you can touch here, you can touch there, but here you don't touch. That is an instruction. In other words, a sin begins from breaking instructions. When you break an instruction, it means you are sinning. So when this instruction was given, a woman was not present. Now, here comes now the logic that we see around. A man is supposed to make sure that gets very closer to God, so that God can communicate you properly, and you communicate down to your family, down to your community. But what happens is that we have decided to leave that space, the vacuum, the connection between man and God, and leave it like that. Who is going to teach our children in the house? Who's going to talk about sexual education in the house with our girls, with our boys? It was supposed to be a man. But our cultures, and cultures that you and I sometimes don't even understand, we want to carry it, especially the part of talking about sex education in the house. You say, no, this is not in my culture. If you don't teach, the society will teach. If you don't teach manners at home, the society will do it. As early as a child is growing up, you must start to teach everything that is and everything that is not. The men should take responsibility. Stop leaving things in the hands of women. Women were brought to us to help us do what we were supposed to be doing already. So don't leave it in the hands of women. Now, you will not wonder why you see today that women are the most frequently going to and from church. Do you see it? Do you see how women are being misled by so-called men of God? It is because we are not taking responsibility. The woman is going to church. With you, it's like, no, going to church is for the women and the children. You even prepare them to go, let them go. With you, you would be busy with something else. So in the end, women go from church to church because they need the guidance from the house. And then we get angry when they display so much respect before that man of God, other than you as a husband. This is a challenge. Church, the communication between mankind and God was between God and men, so that men can provide the proper guidance. It is the same reason why the same woman that was created for us to assist us was the first person that was betrayed or misled by the serpent, because those things are not for women to take responsibility of. It is you that's supposed to provide the guidance. You need to know that women here, this is wrong. When you hear this from a church, no, drink this so that you do this. It does not exist. In other words, while we don't have families yet, you need to be the agent of change wherever you find yourself. Where you see a young man, a young girl is doing something wrong, have that boldness to make sure that you correct. You don't cease to teach. You must teach every day. Women are busy being misled by men of God, and we see people dying. We see everything that is going on, and then we say, but this woman, it is always women. Why do you like church? No, take them to the right church. You take them to the right church. And then these kind of things will not happen. Gentlemen, the same scriptures that we follow remind us that this world is full of trouble. This world is full of trouble. And for reference sake, you get that from John chapter 16, verse 33. Jesus said, in this world you will face trouble, but take heart. You will overcome, because he himself has overcome the world. Take heart, because trouble will not disappear. Trouble will not disappear. Trouble will be there. It is for you and I to make sure that we navigate through this trouble that always come before us. Let us respect who we are. Let us respect the reason why we were created. Let us respect women. Let us look at them as our helper. And a helper is somebody that you should rely on. When you get yourself a girlfriend who is not reliable, don't extend your being together. End it, because at the end of the day, it might end up losing lives. Do not look for women irresponsibly. Look for a woman when you are ready to. And when you get one, look at the signs that will show you whether this woman is there to support what you are already doing, or this woman is just there to lead you into things that tomorrow you will regret about. It is very, very important. As a helper, as a woman was made by God, we sometimes refer to God as our helper. In other words, we don't despise our helper in a sense or in line of God, but we respect God as our helper because we know that he helps us during difficult times as well as during good times. That is the same way we should view women. They are our helper. It doesn't mean that they are weak. It doesn't mean that we should always trample on them, but we look at them as helpers who are there to support our existence and the dreams that we have. Lastly, I would like to say there is always time for everything in life. There is always a time for everything in life. Reference made to Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1 up to 8. There will be a time when you are going to face trouble in your life that you regret why you were born. Take that as the first time in your life that you are facing that particular trouble. In other words, link it with the previous scripture that I have just given you from John chapter 16, verse 33, that in this world there is trouble. And that trouble will come to you, and that day you refer to it as the first time. The time for everything has come to you. A woman has disappointed you, or you have messed up, and then the woman does the right thing to you. Because when you messed up and they do what they do to you, it's the right thing they are doing to you. Don't think about what we are reading every day on social media and other media platforms. Do not kill. Trouble come and go. Don't waste your life. You have something that you need to fulfill before God himself calls you. Stay away from things that you cannot handle at the right time. Today we find ourselves here. This is the right place. We were invited by the right people. We are here talking about the right things. So please, whatever you heard from me, let us try to go and replicate it so that you start speaking life in everybody around you. Because it's only you that can do that. It does not make sense for you to go around and start calling other people's name based on what they have done or what happened to them or whatever. You be the change that you want to become. There is always an opportunity when God presents us with a situation where we need to teach or to live. And in the end, when you leave, bad things will continue happening. The opportunities are always there. Something will happen before your eyes. You have the potential to make sure that you bring change towards that situation, but you choose to do otherwise. And at the end of the day, nobody is teaching anyone, and we just live our life like that. Nobody cares, and we just wait for bad things to happen to the next person. We laugh, we call names, and then we think we are men living in a society without responsibility. Gentlemen, let us take responsibility. I would like to end with a story. There was once upon a time when men were called in a community like the way we were called. We were called today. We're seated here. There came a man who said, "No, we are here today so that we are going to tell you the person, or to show you the person who has been messing up with your life, the person who has been messing up with your home, the person who has been messing up with your woman." And every man was very anxious to make sure that they see who's that kind of a person that has been doing all this bad thing. The next thing is the men were invited in a room like that. We go in, reaching there, we find a coffin. And this coffin is open. Under there is a mirror. Whichever man that passed to go and view the person who has been troubling, the man saw himself. Whoever that went around to see who's troubling his family, who's troubling his children, who's troubling his society, it is always your face that was appearing. So in other words, before you think that somebody is messing up with you or with your life, take responsibility and ask yourself, what is it that I was supposed to do in order for me to avoid this kind of thing next time? I thank you so very much. Thank you.
I believe now I understand how you became a vice president. There's no need for research. It's now very clear. Thank you very much. I think we can give him another.